Welcome to Into the Falls, a Gravity Falls podcast. I'm Mary, and I know lots of things.
I'm AJ, and I know nothing.
This is a podcast where I guide AJ through the wonderful weirdness of Gravity Falls, my favorite show that he has never seen.
If you're a new arrival like me, or looking to relive some crazy summer memories, come with us, and let's dive into the falls. Now, before we start this, I just want to point out that if there was going to be here's what you missed on Glee before the episode, I was not at all prepared for that, so I just gave this big sigh of relief when there wasn't that, and the episode just started outright.
I had the opposite response, because, my thought in choosing this episode is, it'll be the most insane one to jump into if you've never seen the rest of the show.
Which is kind of what happened.
And so I thought, at least there will be a recap, and, you'll know the relevant plot lines to this particular episode. And there wasn't. You're just going in cold.
Cold like the wintertime.
Yeah, so this is the Glee episode. This is their Christmas special from season 4 called Glee, Actually.
I feel like I should point out that I have not seen the movie that they're cribbing, Love Actually. I mean, I'm sure my mom has, but I haven't, so...
You don't have to see it.
And I guess I didn't really need a little moment of, oh, here's your opportunity to take notes before you jump right into season 4 of this show that is filled with so much drama, so many plot lines that it's like, where do I even begin with this?
Half the characters in this episode were introduced in this season, too. These are new characters, a lot of them.
Although I will say, great choice to start off with Sue, because as soon as I saw her, I was like, okay, I have my North Star, I have my grounding character, I know who she is, and I forgot how funny Sue is.
You've seen Sue Sylvester mentality compilations on TikTok. You get her deal.
Or, I mean, I was there. Season 1 and I think 2 is when we kind of watched Glee as, a family together. And then it just kind of became my parents' show. So I'm a little bit familiar, but not a lot. And it's probably been oh gosh. When did this show premiere? 2000, I guess season 4, so 2008, 2009? We're coming up on almost a decade here, since I was in the thick of it.
Yeah, it premiered in 2009. This episode aired winter of 2012, hence the Mayan calendar subplot.
Yeah, there were so many elements in this episode that put me right back to freshman year of high school. But I'm sure we'll get into all of that as we go along.
So season 4, another reason I picked this episode is because season 4 is my least favorite season of Glee. I think it's the worst one by a long shot. A lot of the stuff that makes it the worst season is not in this episode, though. This is a little more contained. It's not really getting into a lot of the larger, more insane subplots that happen later on in the season. I think maybe so you could watch this kind of, at any point.
Yeah, I mean, I had some familiarity, at least half of them. I say Sue, and then freaking, God, why is the name of the wheelchair guy slipping me now? I know. The one cast member
just the way you phrased that.
The one cast member who's a former boy bander, and his name is absolutely slipping my mind.
You know that, though. You know that piece of trivia.
Thanks
so
to
the
you.
actor is... Yeah, I forgot the name of his band, but he was in a boy band before he was on Glee. His name is Kevin McHale. The character is Artie Abrams.
Artie, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I saw him and Finn in the hallway, and I was like, okay, everything's starting to come back to me. I was not expecting It's a Wonderful Life slant for our very first plotline of this episode.
So Artie in the show, I think it's he got into a car accident when he was 8 years old and he lost the use of his legs. And understandably, sometimes he's frustrated by the fact that he's in a wheelchair and a lot of things are not accessible to him. I can't speak to anybody's experience who
Neither
is a
can
wheelchair
I.
user, but I can imagine that sometimes it's frustrating. Especially when the janitor at your school doesn't salt the ice on the wheelchair ramps that you need to get into the school.
How much do they pay that guy?
A recurring plotline on the show is that like all of their budget goes to sports and like nobody else gets anything, so maybe not a lot.
At the high school I go to, it's a known fact that most of the money goes towards the band. And the football team kind of plays second fiddle.
This show, the plot is basically that it's the opposite. Did you say that you currently go to a high school?
No. The high school that I used to go to. Not like Puck, who's just randomly showing up for inspiration, sure. I guess.
Well, that's the thing that happened after half the characters graduated. They would just show back up at the school and they'd just be walking around.
Don't any of you have jobs? You have to have some source of income so you can pay the staff of scientists who service your teleporters that you all clearly own since you're constantly showing up here.
And I'm like, I hear that and I'm like, what are you doing here? They mentioned that a lot of these characters who like started out the show, Rachel and Kurt, they're off in New York living their adult lives.
In a fucking mansion.
Yeah. Loft is way too big and spacious to be affordable. Who knows what they're doing to make actual income?
They're singing waiters.
Excuse me?
Oh, no, wait, no, they're not even singing waiters yet. They become singing waiters in the next season. I don't know what they're doing right now.
My point exactly. Either hustled somebody for this apartment or, I don't know, something sinister is going on.
It's been a long time since I like properly watched season 4, so maybe they explain it and I'm just forgetting. Or maybe it's like her dads are helping them financially. Kurt's dad probably isn't because he's like working class, blue collar. This is going to be way out of order because we started talking about Artie's storyline and then we're just talking about this insane apartment that Kurt and Rachel live in. By the way, I'm kind of glad that Rachel's not in that much of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought she was a little insufferable.
And that's a running joke on the show, too, is characters will acknowledge how insufferable she is.
I love the, going back to Artie's story, I love when he visited her in the library and was like, oh, please tell me you're playing the librarian in your community
music
production
man.
Of The Music Man. Oh, no, that's the lead. I'm in the chorus.
You can still have a fun time being in the chorus in community theater. It's still, you make friends that way.
Yeah.
I was in the ensemble of Bye Bye Birdie in 2013. I made friends. I had a fun time. I was a Conrad Birdie girl.
I did technical theater in high school, so I was building sets and doing all of that stuff. The closest I ever got was my beginning acting class the next year.
So Finn is there, and there is a plot reason for that. He didn't get into colleges. He applied to go to the actor's studio because he was engaged to Rachel in season 3. He was going to go to New York with her. Ultimately, he didn't get into that either, and he decided to stay home and kind of figure out what he's doing next, but like let her go and let her live her dream. And I cried like a baby that scene where he's not breaking up with her per se, but letting her go and saying, you know, if we're meant to be, then we'll be together. But like right now, you gotta, like, you can't stay here on my account. I can't let you do that. At this point in the season, they are officially broken up, as are Kurt and Blaine, but we'll get to that.
I'll be honest, I just thought Finn was still going to the school when he showed up.
No, so he stayed around and he like helps out with the Glee Club to kind of keep it alive, basically. A lot of the show post graduation is them trying to keep the Glee Club going at any cost. And I'm like, I feel like once you graduate, it's like if you find out that the Glee Club is disbanding, you're like, oh, that's sad, but you move on. If you have friends who are like a year below you, you text them, you're like, oh, I'm sorry this is happening, but like we had good times there and like we can still pursue art in other ways. We can still find other ways to, you know, spend time together. No, they are just devastated by this Glee Club disbanding in season 5. And of course it comes back in season 6, and that's the plot of season 6 is they're bringing it back. We will talk about anything but Artie's subplot right now because everything...
The Glee Club absolutely doesn't happen in this alternate universe that Artie finds himself in.
And if there's no Glee Club, then everyone dies.
Yeah, everybody's worse off. Everybody's lame. The jocks are still calling people gay in the hallway. Who is that guy that was Artie's Clarence, his guardian angel?
I'm your Christmas guardian angel, and I've granted your wish. Your car accident never happened. You were never in that dumb chair.
Who is that guy?
That's another reason I picked this episode, is because you wouldn't know who that guy is. That is Rory.
He's just there and
Rory
he's Irish.
just shows up. So he was an exchange student in season 3. The actor, I forgot his name, but he was one of the winners of the Glee project, which is why he got to have an arc on the show. That was the prize of the Glee project. So that's why he is not in the rest of it. He's back home in Ireland, and Artie is having this fever dream where he's showing him a black and white world where Finn is a homophobic bully and Kurt got held back because he wasn't coming to school because the bullying was so bad. And that's something they get much more into in season 2, where there's that's a huge plot line in that season.
And like the craziest part of this storyline is how Rory ties it all together for him. Because you got into this tragic thing happened to you, like you were destined to be the glue that holds the Glee Club together. And because in this timeline you weren't that and you were too busy playing football, all this other stuff has happened.
And it turns out, you were the glue of Glee, Artie. The quiet, steady, beating heart of the group. No glue. No Glee.
I mean, also, I don't know that Finn would still be like making fun of people for being gay, because that's not really like a thing he did in the beginning. Like, he wasn't stopping people from doing it, but like the first scene you see him in is they're about to throw Kurt in a dumpster, but Kurt is wearing this really fancy designer jacket, so he's like, okay, before you throw me in, can I at least take this jacket off? And Finn is the one who says like, okay, let him, like, if you're gonna do this, let him take the jacket off. So that's like his moment of showing that like he can be redeemed, because he is at least offering him this concession. So I don't know that he would be doing it like to an equal extent as the other football players. I wonder what they would have to say about Karofsky being in this. Karofsky was like the worst of Kurt's bullies in season 1 and 2. He's the one who took it like way farther than any of the other jocks or bullies would take it, is like calling him all the slurs and like being the most violent toward him. And you find out partway through season 2, it's because he is deeply closeted. So that is still a plot line. He hates himself internally, and he hates that Kurt is able to just be open and be out and not be ashamed. And so that's why he takes it out on him. And he does have a sort of redemption arc, but like us finding out that he's gay is not the redemption arc. That he is still like very much a threat at that point. Like, and like I think they handled it kind of well to begin with, maybe not later on, because like now we, the audience, and Kurt as a character, we all have context for why he's doing this, but he's still doing this. It's still really bad.
He's not doing any of the work that he himself needs to go through to help quash a lot of this hate.
And they bring that up later. I just wonder if the Glee Club never happens, if Kurt never learns to stand up for himself and like count on his friends to have his back, what is happening to Karofsky? Because the season before this, Karofsky attempted suicide because he got outed. So I don't think he would have.
They obviously couldn't bring down the air of Artie singing Feliz Navidad to everybody, so that's why Karofsky. Yeah,
we're just rewriting the segment of the episode by saying like, well, what if this character was in it, and what if this happened? But the person they do kill off in this timeline is Quinn, who's not in this episode in any other capacity. So season 3, she gets into a car accident on the way to Finn and Rachel's courthouse wedding because she's texting and driving. They did
mention that, and I was like, I took notes, and I literally wrote down, this is way too much info dump for someone jumping in 4 seasons deep.
There is always someone has been cheated on, someone is getting married, regardless of if their brain is developed.
And we'll talk about that later.
We will, because it keeps happening. It keeps happening. They never stop. There is a double gay wedding in the final season.
Oh, gosh.
Of these, like, 20-year-olds.
Yeah, so Quinn,
I guess, almost died in season 3 because she was in that car accident and she was temporarily paralyzed. And then, like, over the rest of season 3, she is going through physical therapy and she is learning to walk again. And Artie, when she first is in the wheelchair, is sort of encouraging her, is showing her how to get around in it, but also telling her like, hey, it's a very real possibility that this is permanent, and if that's the case, you need to accept that. She does not accept that, and it turns out she didn't need to because she relearns how to walk. But apparently, if she hadn't joined the Glee Club, the accident would have happened anyway because she would text and drive anyway.
I love that. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, she texted and drive. No,
she didn't get into the accident because she was driving to the wedding. She got into the accident because she was texting and driving. Don't do that.
She died? a broken heart. Much like her body, her spirit never recovered.
She died of a broken heart in this timeline?
That brought me out of it. That was kind of stupid. I was like,
It was. I don't think that's how that would work. And I know it's a dream sequence. You can excuse this as being like, oh, this isn't like necessarily what would happen. This is just what Artie's subconscious is telling him might happen.
yeah, I'm sure
But,
when they were in the writer's room, they were like, oh, that'll tear at every teenager that watches and loves Glee.
You have to give this blonde cheerleader hope. You have to get into that car accident and lose the use of your legs.
You have to get in the chair,
bullied.
Artie, because everybody's better off because of it.
Everybody else gets to walk because you are in the wheelchairs. And doesn't that make everything better?
How fucked up is that?
And we're not trying to say that like being in a wheelchair is like a fate worse than death. It's not. It's just it's a mobility aid. A wheelchair is a good thing because the alternative is you just can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's understandable that some people might be like, I'm frustrated by the lack of accessibility and I'm frustrated by like the way that people treat me because I'm disabled. The advice I would offer those people is not necessarily, but what if your friend died? But what if somebody died because you weren't in that chair? I'd just be like, no, it's normal to feel frustrated with your position in life no matter what it is. Even if you ultimately are at peace with it. Like, he has long since accepted the fact that he's in a wheelchair. He knows that's just a part of his life. And he kind of reaffirms that after he has this dream. He's like, you know what, it's a part of me. It's just this is my life. It's fine. But what if someone died, though?
But what if someone died, though?
What if this pretty blonde cheerleader who was gonna go to Yale got in a car accident and was temporarily paralyzed, but then because she didn't have friends in the Glee Club, she just died instead?
I guess I'm glad that we'll never know.
That could happen, right?
Yeah, parallel universes are a thing.
If you're a doctor, please tell us if this is remotely a possibility. I know you can die if you are very ill and you lose the will to live. I know that can kind of speed the process along, or you kind of just decide to let go if you're at a certain point. I feel like being physically disabled and being depressed, you wouldn't die of a broken heart. I think you would just be depressed.
I wanted to try and take it seriously, but then it just, skydives right off of there, and I'm like, okay, well, this makes me remember kind of why I stopped watching Glee.
I feel like if they had tried to do this after Corey Monteith died in real life, they just would not have gone there. They wouldn't have been like, but what if someone died? Because now it's like, oh, someone did die.
Someone actually died.
Yeah, someone died in real life that was close to us and a major part of the show, and maybe we don't want to kind of use that as like a cheap kind of shock value, like tug at the heartstrings kind of thing. Dude, of all the non sequitur song transitions in this show, let alone in a Christmas episode, Feliz Navidad is the most that?
Yeah,
Why is he singing that?
I don't understand how he decided, oh, this is the song that's going to motivate everybody to join the Glee Club again, or to start this thing up. Because, like, even Mr. Will walks by as he's doing this and is just like, what a loser.
No, that's not what Will does when he sees these kids performing. He walks in and he looks at them wistfully and he's like, no matter what timeline, no matter what song they're singing, he just walks in and is inspired by the artistry. I want to do a compilation of all the scenes in Glee where the kids are performing and Will walks in and he just silently nods and like stares at them in awe and wonder of this creative spirit that they've all inspired within each other. And like, he's not the only character to do it either. There are so many shots of someone like slowly walking into the choir room or slowly walking into the auditorium while a performance is happening and just staring in wonder at these kids who are going places. These kids who are showing unity. That's
and
half the show.
Singing Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Sometimes it's Journey. Sometimes it's Feliz Navidad. It depends on the month.
I guess that's a good place to end on the first story. Let's go to New York.
Let's go to our giant mansion in New York.
Our giant loft that's somehow both homey and oppressive in vibe.
Very industrial.
And I mean, I kind of fuck with that. But when is it Kurt or Rachel who mentions the Jesse Tyler Ferguson lookalike contest on this cruise?
Rachel, and I noticed that too because I was watching Modern Family last night.
And I insist you come with us to the Rosie O'Donnell Gay Holiday Cruise. It's going to be so much fun. There's even going to be a Jesse Tyler Ferguson lookalike contest.
Well, in that case, I'm definitely going to have to pass.
I was like,
because
good grief, this takes me right back to that era in television.
It's just such a specific reference. Like
it's
could
such
be
a
like
specifically
a reference
2011,
to
2012
Liza Minnelli
reference.
Or I don't know, just a more famous gay icon. But Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
That was a reference firmly for that present and no other present. It's not for the people that rewatch Glee or discover it for the first time. It's only for the people who were there from the beginning.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
My
name is Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I'm in Modern Family. I don't know the rest of that. He's in Modern Family. He's Santa Claus in the very Jonas Brothers Christmas movie.
Christmas spirits, I've seen something tragic. These boys shan't get home till they rediscover their brotherly magic.
I wrote down, and they were roommates in the strict sense of the word, like in the exact definition, because
they were almost in-laws.
Wait, what?
Kurt is Finn's stepbrother at this point. So when Finn and Rachel almost got married, Kurt would have been her brother-in-law, her stepbrother-in-law.
Huh. That's a very interesting lore dump.
Well, he mentions that his dad and his stepmom and Finn are going to go visit the stepmom's sister. So I guess that's explaining where Carol and Finn are for the rest of this episode, aside from singing at the end. But they know, the writers, ultimately, they know what the people want to see, and the people want to see less Rachel and more Bert.
Yeah, definitely.
Bert.
I was like, Bert. I wrote down, no stronger bond than that of a gay guy and his dad who's learning.
His dad who does not always say the right thing, but he's always trying to say the right thing. He's a good dad.
Yeah. I gotta point this out because later on they're in a diner doing their father-son hot chocolate thing, and Bert drops this bomb.
Yeah!
And the first thing I thought was, and I wrote it down, is it bad that I thought the dad was gonna say, son, I'm gay too?
He's also gonna come out. He's like, listen, I did love your mother, but maybe not in the way that I thought I did. Your dead mother that we brought up earlier. Your stepmother and I were platonic life partners. It turns out.
Or there have been stranger ways to come out as bisexual. So yeah, instead it's prostate cancer, which I guess I was like, okay.
It's not the worst kind of cancer.
It's not, and even Bert says so to try and assure Kurt, but like, it almost felt obligatory for Glee to drop some kind of melodrama bomb like that.
It's still cancer. You're still giving your son this news on Christmas Eve after you have had a heart attack before, after he has lost his mother. And even I was like caught off guard by it because I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, of course they're gonna write in prostate cancer as opposed to any other kind because that's like one of the most treatable.
But I also feel like it was very topical sort of back then.
Get your prostate checked. Yeah, like I kind of forgot for a second that he had the heart attack. And Kurt brings it up. He's like, yeah, it's healthy people can be cured. You had a heart attack 2 years ago.
You had a heart attack, Dad.
You had a heart attack not that long ago.
And that's what got me to go twice a week for checkups.
That's true. They caught it early. It's localized in like one place. It's very treatable. Still get your prostate checked, but you know.
Yes. I'm 28. I'm invincible right now.
I'm about to be 28 and I don't have a prostate. That means I can't die.
I'm the one who has to worry. Mary just gets to coast through life.
I don't have any other organs that could possibly get cancer. Let's come up with some new Hummels. Because there's Kurt Hummel and there's Bert Hummel. We need more Hummels.
Turt Hummel. That sounds too close to turd, though.
It does. Turtle Hummel.
Furt.
No. So Furt is actually the name of an episode. That's the name of the episode where Bert and Carol get married because Finn gives a speech at the wedding.
In Glee Club, whenever two of us got together, we got a nickname. Rachel and I are Finchel. Rachel and Puck were Puckleberry. And today a new union was formed. Furt.
I think he might have to walk that one back.
I think it's too late for him to walk anything back because he's dead.
Rest in peace, Corey Monteith.
Rest in peace, Corey Monteith. My God.
So,
that was tragic.
How far did Kurt and Blaine get? Like, what base are we talking? What's their base record throughout?
They've had 6 beds at this point.
Oh, okay. So they are...
Yeah, they are broken up at this point in the show.
Okay. Because this was very much like they're either not at that point yet or it feels like they're broken up and things are just kind of weird between them.
Yeah, this is, if I remember correctly, this is like the first time they've seen each other in a while, like probably since they broke up. Like, he mentions that they've been talking, but I don't think they've seen each other in person since they broke up. So that's why it's like kind of uncomfortable. Like, they're happy to see each other, but it's also like...
And, good on Bert for flying Blaine out here.
Good on Bert for dropping the news on Christmas Eve that he has prostate cancer and then ambushing his son with his ex-boyfriend who cheated a few months earlier.
Oh, well, that definitely explains the awkwardness there.
The discomfort, yeah. I'm like, okay, I know they're like friends again by this point. They're amicable. There's still kind of some weirdness because they're like, we had this breakup and we still have all this stuff to process, but like, I am happy to see you. I am glad you're here.
They can sing the hell out of White Christmas, though.
They can, but they shouldn't scat it. That song should not be scatted. I know they're not the first people to do it. I know that arrangement has existed for a while, but White Christmas should be a sad song. It should not be
like, I love the movie White Christmas, so I'm always gonna think of Bing Crosby singing it. But I mean, them skating together, and I had forgotten how high Kurt's singing voice is. And I'm like, every tenor needs a countertenor. That's just how it works to create magic.
I think that's actually not his natural range. I think his natural range is lower, and they just have him sing higher in the show because I guess he can.
Which is an interesting way to go about it.
It's an interesting way to go about your only gay main character for a while.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of grown into not really a stereotype, but like a thing. Like, oh, he sings high. He probably might be gay.
I mean, there are a lot of gay stereotypes that Kurt falls into. And to be fair, the show has a very heavy gay presence, very white gay presence, but gay nonetheless. So it's not necessarily coming from a place of like, this is how all gay people act. It's just like, maybe this is what one of the writers was like in high school, or this is what Ryan Murphy was like in high school.
I mean, I say sometimes that stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. But yeah, I really liked that one, and I actually sung along with that musical number.
They keep talking about these homo family traditions, and one of them is hot chocolate, and I'm like, can you claim hot chocolate as a family tradition? Or is that just a thing that most people do in winter, is go and get hot chocolate?
I mean, I'm inclined to say it's a thing most people go and do during winter. Maybe they have a history with that particular diner and that particular hot chocolate.
Well, no,
I don't know exactly how
New
familiar
York.
the Hummel family is with New York.
They've lived in Ohio their whole lives. This is their first year in New York.
Yeah, that's right.
And we know that his dad forgot to get a Christmas tree the Christmas after his wife died until literally Christmas Eve.
And then the first Christmas after his mom died, I totally forgot about it. That is until I saw little Kurt hang his own special version of a Christmas ornament on his window shade Christmas Eve.
He's like, oh, right. Oh, my son is hanging his dead mom's perfume bottle on the window shade. We should probably get a tree. You can put dead mom's bottle on a tree instead of pretending that a window shade is a tree. That is one of the saddest things I've ever heard.
And that was the first time he smiled since his mom died.
You couldn't have gotten him a tree. I know you're grieving too, but it's Christmas. Like, you're not like seeing trees all over the place and thinking, oh, right, I should get one. I know your wife always took care of it, but like, I don't know. Are you not doing other things that your wife used to take care of? Oh, wait, I just remembered that my son misses his mom. We should get a tree. I guess maybe it just speaks to like how tough it was when they first lost the mom. I just don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll never know unless my wife dies and then Christmas comes around and I forget that I should get a Christmas tree.
It's a little ridiculous.
You don't. I mean, you never know where people's heads are, especially when they're grieving. That just feels like a really obvious thing.
But hey, it was still a cute story nonetheless. I would definitely rank it higher than Artie's.
It was definitely the most grounded, but Glee is also not a grounded show.
Oh, absolutely not.
It was maybe the most poignant, because I think the first one was trying to be the most poignant, but it was like, you're just throwing things at the wall. You're just throwing character death and inspiration porn at the wall and seeing what sticks, and none of it sticks.
And then moving on, we've got Kojo from Zeke and Luther in braids, trying to be a bully. So
it's interesting that you made the Zeke and Luther connection. I only know him from Ned's Declassified.
It seems like most people know him from Ned's Declassified, and
well,
I'm like,
that was definitely the more popular show.
I almost feel kind of weird knowing him from this other show that was the direct competitor to Nickelodeon.
Disney XD's flagship sitcom about two skater boys. They're boys. This is a channel for boys.
I was definitely one of the boys back then. I love Zeke and Luther. So that's
we watch Zeke and Luther because we're boys.
That's where I know
Daniel Curtis Lee.
Daniel Curtis Lee, thank you.
Of course, now we know him from being on a really sad podcast about Ned's Declassified and just getting into all sorts of controversy.
That Quantica joke was it wasn't funny on paper, but the way he delivered it made it.
I don't think it's worth punching someone in the face over.
Probably
I know
not.
He means it in a derogatory way, but it's like it's just such a nothing insult that it's like, I feel like if someone said that to me, if I was like, I can't claim to have ever been in a position like this. I am neither black nor Jewish, but I feel like if someone said something like that to me, I'd just be like, what? Okay, what?
Yeah.
What? Like I wouldn't jump to punching him in the face unless, like, I think they needed him to say something worse to warrant the punch.
Yeah.
I think
something
they needed him
worse than Quantica.
Like, I don't know. People say Chrismica.
Also, freaking, you want to get a dose of puck shot? I feel like that was almost worse than Quantica. Like what are we doing? What are we doing here?
I mean, it's not like teenagers are that clever. I just feel like it had to be something that like really, really crossed the line in order to like start a fight instead of just saying, haha, you're black and Jewish. Because he's like, what? I know that.
I wrote down the line, my hog has a sweet sidecar. And now that I know some context about Puck's actor, I can make this joke. I'm sure that's what he said to all the high schoolers.
He, pretty soon after this episode, starts dating a sophomore. Which
Puck
granted
or the actor?
Puck. Which granted his character is a freshman in college. Or is that age. Is like 18 or 19. So he's dating like a 16-year-old. So it's like, okay, that's not that bad, but it's not good.
You're riding the line there.
It's weird. It's enough to be weird. And of course,
we're talking
they didn't know at the
two different
time.
mindsets here of college and still in high school. Things are so much more real when you're in college. So to sort of jump back down to that level is like, what are you doing, dude? It took me like halfway through the episode before I figured out that Puck and this other guy are they step brothers or is there another name? Okay.
They're half brothers. So his half brother, who is also half black, Jake Puckerman, he was introduced this season. Well, we'll talk about this later, but he dated Marley for a while and then cheated on her with Kitty because these writers don't realize that you can break up with people for reasons other than cheating. So everyone is always cheating on each other.
But nothing causes so much drama like cheating, though.
Everyone is doing it constantly.
So he takes his brother all the way? I don't know. Where exactly does Glee take place?
Lima, Ohio.
Okay, so he does take his brother all the way to Los Angeles just to goof around on the Paramount lot for a day.
There are no consequences whatsoever.
Well, I mean, this is 2012.
Paramount lot.
People know that flash mobs exist.
Yeah, but in the middle of a shoot on a backlot, I feel like they're not gonna let that happen.
Yeah,
I feel like you're gonna get in way more trouble.
That was the craziest part of the story to me, is that people are just like, oh, this is happening, I suppose, when there's literal dozens of feet of film being ruined by the two brothers intruding onto this take.
Yeah, and like even if it's not physical film, just the time and exhaustion that comes with setting up any shot in any production of any kind.
Yeah, definitely.
Is insane. And the fact that they're just like cool with it and they're just dancing along.
Yeah,
they're like, well, it's
everybody
okay because they're
joins
singing
in.
about Hanukkah. They're singing about Hanukkah. That means this is fine what they're doing, actually.
Yeah.
And the
what did
joke
he say? If you're a Jew or a gay, you've got it made in Hollywood.
Yep. Oh, there's so much dust on the inside of my stepladder. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. I could be remembering wrong, but I think this may be the only major acknowledgement of Hanukkah in any of these Christmas episodes of this show. Some important characters are Jewish, like Rachel is Jewish, but she's also barely in this episode, so it's not going to happen with her. She also seems to celebrate like secular Christmas. I think maybe one of her, I don't remember, I think one of her dads might be Jewish and the other is not. I don't remember if they were both Jewish, but I know she as a character is Jewish.
Dads as in like they're gay, or dads as in one's a dad, one's a stepdad?
Dads as in they're gay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Her biological mother in the show is Idina Menzel, is played by Idina Menzel. Honestly, it's pretty good casting. They do very much look like they could be related.
And I mean, talent-wise, that tracks.
I was also saying that the Puckerman brothers, they do look like they could be half brothers.
Yeah, they do.
So that was pretty good casting. If only one of them did not turn out to be a pedophile.
Yeah.
But this fictional character is not a pedophile. So we can talk about him, and that's fine. Why are they filming a mob movie on the Paramount lot in 2012?
I don't know.
We weren't making those in 2012.
We were
Maybe
absolutely
Boardwalk
not
Empire,
making it.
but that's a TV show, and I don't know that they had any scenes like that where there's just a shootout in the middle of the street. Maybe, but I feel like that's a movie that would be being made in like the 30s. That's The Public Enemy.
Yeah, or Angels with Filthy Souls.
Movie.
No, I'm thinking of the Home Alone version. There was actually a movie called Angels with Dirty Faces,
or something like it.
Yeah, it's Paramount, so they could have been making a Godfather reboot.
I think the most likely thing is they were filming Boardwalk Empire or something like it, like a prestige period drama, because they're not making movies like that in 2012. No. The most recent one I can think of from that point is like The Untouchables, which was in the 80s.
Yeah. In 2012 they were making 2012, which we'll get to that.
No, in 2009 they were making 2012, but in 2012 they were making History Channel specials about 2012 and how it was the end of the world.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. I want to stay
we'll get to that later.
I want to stay with the Puckermans just a little bit longer because when they're all back together in, I guess, Ohio at the Breadsticks, and
the only restaurant in Lima, Ohio.
I remember seeing in the credits promotional consideration provided by T-Mobile. Couldn't sign on Olive Garden to have them all eat at an Olive Garden?
Nope, they have breadsticks.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Have you tried their never-ending pasta bowl? It never ends.
They only have breadsticks with an X.
I guess there's nothing that brings a family together like mutual hating and breadsticks.
That's true. What tattoo shop did they find that would give Jake a tattoo when he is like 15?
I don't know. People were talking to us in Vegas about, this Italian restaurant you're going to? There's a $10 tattoo shop that's right next door. I don't know.
But they probably check IDs. Just because it's a $10 tattoo shop doesn't mean they tattoo teenagers.
Certainly.
Like, it's not likely. You're not likely to find that. I guess maybe he had a fake ID. I don't know. They get matching Star of David tattoos. Because they're Jewish. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
That's what Jewish people do. They get Star of David tattoos.
And they sing about all the...
And they sing the Hanukkah song on the Paramount lot.
Yeah. And everybody's like,
understanding of Judaism
this is a flash
now.
mob. This is a totally normal thing to do in 2012.
Their moms were pissing me off. Because they're having this cat fight in front of their children. Like, guys, you're not even, like, being passive-aggressive or anything. You're just jumping straight
aggressive.
into the, like, you whore.
And it's like...
You stole my husband.
It's like the dick measuring competition of who got screwed over by this absolute sleazeball worse. Which is like, why would that be a point of pride to compete over?
First, they're like blaming each other, or at least Puck's mom is blaming Jake's mom. Like, oh, you acted like you didn't know who I was. And she's like, he didn't wear his ring when we were together. I didn't know he was married. And she's like, oh, you knew. You totally knew, you fucking slut. And their sons have to be the ones to be like, guys, he fucked us all over. Like, why are we turning on each other? Can't you see this is what he wants? Yeah, I was like, at least don't fight about this in front of the kids. Because, like, what it already happened.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Like, the younger brother is a sophomore at this point. It's been that long. He's at least 15. So, like, what good is it gonna... He's not in any of your lives now. So I guess they're just trying to, like, blame each other for this falling out. And it's like, why do your teenage sons have to be the ones to tell you that it's the dad's fault?
Yeah.
That's just not healthy at all.
No, it's
They should not have been in that position. They're brothers. You didn't let your kid have a relationship with his brother who you knew existed until he was 15?
They sort of align them towards the common enemy and everything works out, so...
Yeah, they're able to diffuse it immediately by saying, like, hey, he left all of us. And they're like, you're right.
Fuck that guy.
So shouldn't you, if it was that easy, shouldn't you have realized it, like, 20 years ago? I mean, I know sometimes you, like, logically know something is true, but your emotions get the better of you. But, like, if it's that easy to convince them that, like, no, we should only be blaming dad, shouldn't they have already known that?
Yeah.
Did they just need to, like, get this anger toward each other out of their system, and then they can fully blame the dad?
Probably.
Because then at least, again, at least don't do it in front of your kids.
Yeah.
Who are brothers, who are trying to reconnect because they weren't in each other's lives. Because one of them wasn't written into the show until season 4.
Yeah, they went and got matching Star of David tattoos. One of them being underage in Los Angeles. They should both get mad about that.
Yeah. Jake's mom should be mad at him for getting a tattoo when he's only 15 or 16. And Puck's mom should be mad at him for taking his younger brother, who's only 15 or 16, to get a tattoo. And they should both get grounded.
Is he living on his own?
I guess he's...
Well, yeah, he is living on his own.
I guess I think in this episode, he decides to move back home. So I guess at that point, you can't ground him. But, like, once he moves back home, you can be like, you can at least, like, set some kind of boundary. I did have a coworker a couple jobs ago who's 21 years old and still lived with her parents, which, like, a lot of my friends do. That's not the part that's like, weird. The weird part is they still grounded her. And I'm like, no, you're 21. They should not be doing that. And she knew that too, but it's like, yeah, I'm living in their house. It is what it is.
So it was 2012. It was a given that they were going to do some riff on the whole 2012 Mayan apocalypse thing.
And if there was any character who was going to fully believe it, it would be Brittany.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I don't remember her. I think I vaguely remember this guy that she's with. Are they just that dumb?
Brittany definitely is, or she's like played that way. They kind of explain it later that like she's actually a genius in her own way, but she is very gullible and very susceptible to things like that. And then Sam is like not as gullible, but like he can be convinced of things. He's also not very smart.
Whoever did the job of convincing him that 2012 was actually going to happen must have done a really damn good job.
I mean, I think maybe we forget because they all look like adults, but they are teenagers at this point in the show, and teenagers, you can kind of convince them of a lot of things.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
looking back as an adult, you're like...
I was convinced that 2012 was going to be a thing.
I went back and forth on it because we were making lots of jokes about it, and I knew that I was like, I know it's not likely, but like, what if the world ends? So there was a part of me that was like scared that it might actually happen. And then, of course, December 21st came and went. I had heard before that like, no, guys, like it's a mistranslation or it's just like completely made up. I don't remember what the deal was.
Apocalyptic fear baiting.
Yeah, and also like this idea that like because it's this mysterious foreign culture that we don't understand, and so they probably had this prophecy, this mystical knowledge that we can't possibly. You know what's weird?
What's weird?
Sam is a Christian. Why does he believe that the Mayan gods are gonna like take over the world?
I was raised a Christian, and not even I can give you the answer to that question.
And you also believe that the Mayan gods were going to take over the world.
Yeah, so...
Because the History Channel said so. Because
I love
Roland
that
Emmerich made a
line.
movie about it. If you can believe it, Sam proposing to her in the library. That's not the first or the last time that a proposal will happen between students at this school.
They spent like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes roasting their fellow classmates before this. Then when they all leave, Sam just turns his head and there's a band just sitting there ready to play Jingle Bell Rock. So I'm like, were they sitting there the whole time? Were they like witness to this?
That's something I always think about with the band kids. I didn't at the time that I was watching the show, but like 2 years ago when I moved into my first apartment, I was watching the show just in a completely random order, and I would just look at the band kids sometimes and be like, don't they have like inner lives?
You would
Are they
think that.
also cheating on each other all the time? Are they also getting engaged and then breaking up and getting into scandals? Like, why not make them... That seems so obvious. Like, why not make them characters in the show?
I feel like things would get too big and it would warrant their own show. Like, why didn't we get the Glee spinoff called Band?
Mark my fucking words. I'm going to reboot this show. I'm going to do a Glee revival. Chris, if you're listening to this, shut up. Stop trying to stop me. I'm gonna do it. I have plans. I have ideas for a revival of this show. And genuinely, if I got the chance to pitch it, I would. This is not entirely a bit. I know it's not likely at all that I will get to pitch it or that it will go into production. But I'm gonna keep this dream alive, one way or the other. And one of the things that I would do with that is I would make the band kids actual characters, because that seems so obvious. Like, you do have some of the characters in the Glee Club who play instruments, but only sometimes. Why not have a plotline where you get into what the band kids are doing, and then you don't have to keep writing new characters as these people are graduating? Like, yes, some of them can just be like randos who decided they like singing all of a sudden, but then some of them can be the band kids. Like, band kids get bullied sometimes. They have stuff going on. Everybody has stuff going on. The world's ending. Let's sing Jingle Bell Rock.
The choice of Christmas Carol, Hanukkah Carol including, for this episode it has been off the wall so far. Like, White Christmas with Kurt and Blaine was pretty thematically sound, but Feliz Navidad and It's a Wonderful Life parody, Jingle Bell Rock for the end of the Mayan calendar.
If anything, Artie's thing should have been Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah.
It still would have been weird, but it would have fit better than Feliz Navidad. I don't know why he's doing Feliz Navidad technically would be better for a Mayan apocalypse.
Yes, it would.
I know the Mayans didn't speak Spanish, but it's that same like area of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
They mentioned conquistadors.
And it just would have been funny to hear him try to sing this song in the most obviously gringo accent. He's blonde and blue-eyed. Like, there's literally no other way he could have sung Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad is just like this phonetic, like the simplest Spanish words you can possibly do, and that's why the hook is in English.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
The most in the weeds it gets with the Spanish language is the word año. The fact that it has the accent over the N. That's all we got. You don't need to speak Spanish to sing that song.
It's very easy. Can we talk about the Elvis move that he did during the Jingle Bell Rock number?
There's so much going on. Like, I looked away for 2 seconds during that scene, and then he's singing Jingle Bell Rock. I'm like, wait, how did they try to justify this? Because like they have to sing the Christmas songs because it's the Christmas episode, and we have to release the Glee Christmas album for this year.
There's so many shots going on as well. Just like talking about the editing for a second.
They always did that when it was like an
1 second of
song.
guitar playing, then we go to a close-up of guitar playing, and then like he's looking at her.
Spin it around.
And then
he's spinning around, and the cheerleaders are all dressed up like reindeer, and they're dancing. Why are they dressed up? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
I understand it's like they're trying to fit 5 stories into a 45-minute span, and each one of them has got to have a musical number, but it's so frenetic. It's like MTV, but on crack.
Because they just gave up on justifying what songs they use once it's a holiday special.
Exactly. And I mean, doing the Hanukkah thing was thematically appropriate, but every single other choice has been either that kind of worked or off the wall.
You said that you like hoped that they do Last Christmas in this episode, and
yes,
I told you that they actually did that in season 2. If they had known what plot lines they were going to go with, Last Christmas would have maybe worked better in this episode between Kurt and Blaine. As it is, it was Finn and Rachel in season 2, and Rachel had no right to be singing that. She had no right to be singing "The very next day you gave it away and I'll give it to someone special." You cheated on him out of spite because you found out that before you were together, he had sex with somebody else. You lied to him and said that you had sex with your boyfriend at the time. Then you came clean and you said, actually, I didn't have sex with my boyfriend at the time. That means we're both virgins and we can save ourselves for each other. And granted, he made the mistake of lying to you and saying that he was still a virgin. If you guys had had sex before you found out the truth, that would have been way worse. That would have been a way different story. If he had been like lying about being a virgin and then had sex with you, that would be maybe equally bad. But he didn't. You found out the truth later. It was a really bad thing to lie about, but it's not cheating. And then you cheated on him, and now you're like, oh, you broke my heart.
These people are insane.
You're all insane.
You're all insane.
I want to get a corkboard and put all their pictures on it and be like, okay, this color thread means they cheated on each other. This color thread means they broke up and stayed broken up. This color thread means they got married by the end of the show. They'd all be the same thread.
They would, oh my God.
Somehow it would all be the same thread.
And all of you Glee kids have dated so incestuously that I can't even remember who can tolerate who anymore.
Who's even the lady that married Sam and Brittany? Like, who is she?
That is the football coach, Coach Beast. And at this point in the show, it's Shannon Beast. In season 6, the name becomes Sheldon Beast because the character transitions into a man. The actor in real life is a butch lesbian. And I to this day, I don't know how I feel about it.
Should she have played trans man?
I think if they were making it now, they would not do that. And actually, that's another thing with like the potential for a Glee reboot is Kevin McHale has said that if they do one, he wants to be in it, but he knows now that like, oh, I should not be playing a disabled character as a non-disabled person. So maybe they like give me a fake beard and they have me play somebody else. I think what we do is we have him in the show. And we have Artie's still a character, Artie's still around, but every time he's like visiting from somewhere or they're like in the same location, you just missed him. He just went down the hall to go to the bathroom. He'll be right back. He just stepped out for a second. We're going to see him in just a minute. And then the audience never does.
That would be incredible.
He becomes a cryptid.
That is the way to go about it.
Or
it's like the one chance we see him, it's like from the back in a mirror in the shot. And then it's like 2 frames.
Or I apologize in advance.
Uh-oh.
Kevin McHale plays a teacher whose name is either Mr. Walker or Mr. Wheeler.
Brilliant.
You make no efforts to hide that it's the same actor, but the characters do not see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Also, make it just fundamentally unclear whether this is a reboot or a revival, because Sue is still there. Sue is still Sue. But there's like another character who's a sophomore named Artie Abrams, who's also in a wheelchair, is also into film, is also kind of a nerd. And you don't know if that's the same Artie Abrams or it's just a really weird coincidence.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want to do it. I want to make it super inconsistent what the show even is.
I feel like we're going to make so much money. I don't know how I'm going to fit into it, but...
This is my pitch.
Yeah, this is your pitch.
I'll let you punch up a script. I don't know. We'll get you a credit. We'll get you a WGA card.
Perfect. Count me in. At this point, I think I would go favorite to least favorite. Kurt and Blaine, The Pucks, Artie, and It's a Wonderful Life, and then this one last.
The Pucks sounds like a really terrible sitcom spinoff of the show. If this had been a show in like the 90s, there would have been a spinoff called The Pucks that would have lasted for like 10 episodes.
Friends got Joey.
Oh, Joey. Yeah, so the number of proposals that happens within this Glee Club is like, okay, so season 1, football coach at the time, Ken Tanaka, who in the alternate timeline marries Emma, he proposes to Emma and they almost get married. Emma's not in this episode, by the way. They break up, obviously. Season 3, Will proposes to Emma, Finn proposes to Rachel, and then of course they have that semi-breakup at the end. So, okay. So we know that Kurt and Blaine are broken up right now because Blaine cheated on him, which, by the way, season 3, their Whitney Houston episode, Kurt starts like texting this guy that he met at a music store, like a really inappropriate way. So like, okay, I'm not saying that's not cheating. That's still really bad. At the very least, it's a breach of trust. Blaine makes a whole thing about like, this is cheating. Like it's resolved by the end of the episode. And then like 5 episodes later, he actually has sex with somebody else when Kurt goes off to college. It's just such a small gap between those two things happening.
And then how are you going to make such a big deal about texting someone different and then...
I mean, he doesn't know that in the future he's going to cheat on Kurt. He doesn't plan on doing it that far ahead. He still does it, and it's like, dude, you made a whole thing about he was texting somebody else.
Exactly.
This song is for anyone that's ever been cheated on.
This is insane. I didn't cheat on you.
Cheetahs have the fastest land speed of any living animal.
And that was inappropriate, and that was bad, and he should not have done that. But then you go and you have sex with some guy. And you're like, oh, I'm sad that my boyfriend's at college, and he's not texting me as much. I'm gonna go fuck somebody. I'm gonna fuck somebody about it.
This is literally the plot of freaking Human by the Human League. I was lonely, so I saw someone else. Then, I don't know, Kurt didn't cheat too, did he? Because then it would.
I mean, if you count texting that guy as cheating, which a lot of people would, to be fair, he did, but it didn't break them up, and he didn't physically cheat at any point.
I consider that still cheating.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a form of cheating. But my point is that Blaine in that episode was like so heartbroken about it. He's like, this is cheating. You're cheating on me. How could you do this? And then like 3 months later, he actually has sex with somebody else while Kurt is at college.
I'll reiterate again. These people are crazy.
You're all insane. You deserve each other. Don't worry. They get married in the last season. You know, that's actually their second time being engaged, because the end of season 4, you know, they're not back together at the end of season 4, but their relationship is much better. They are like on much better terms with each other. Beginning of season 5, they get back together and like almost immediately Blaine proposes. Because that was his plan from the beginning. He's like, this is how I'm going to win him back. I have to do this really big proposal. I'm like, no, you don't. And Bert tried to tell him, he's like, listen, I'm rooting for you guys, but I don't think you should propose to him. I think you're both too young. I think this is a bad idea. He tries to get Bert's like blessing. And he's like, listen, I wish you the best. You don't have my blessing to do this. This is not a good idea. But then like, by season 5, he's like, okay, well, they're going to do it. So I'll drive Kurt to the place where he's going to get proposed to, and what he decides is up to him because he's technically an adult now. And he says yes, and everyone's like, yay! And the teacher, well, at the beginning of the episode, he makes one comment. He's like, Blaine, are you sure you've thought this through? And that's all we hear from him on the subject. Because, like, he knows that he can't, like, stop them if they really want to do this, but he is just kind of being like, I don't know if you should, which, like, I'm not going to take advice on, like, what's appropriate for teenagers to do from Will Schuester. He could have, like, pushed a little more and been like, maybe you wait a little bit. Maybe you get back into the groove of your relationship. You know, you just got back together. No, you're proposing to him right now. We're getting all the other Glee clubs to help us out in a big show of unity with our competitors, helping us sing this Beatles song at the place where we met. Everyone's just cool with it. These children are getting married.
I'm almost glad that you picked this particular episode for me to watch, because you shielded me from how truly off the wall this show gets. Like, this is like vanilla. This feels like vanilla Glee that we're merely dealing with here.
Yeah, I mean, that is far from the craziest thing to happen on the show. I don't know what objectively is the craziest thing to happen on the show. I don't know if it's happened yet. At this point, I would have to like look at a list of episodes, and there were like 200 of them. But yeah, just some wild shit happens. Will sings Blurred Lines with these kids.
Everybody get up.
And only after the fact does Sue tell him that song is about date rape, because the show still had to do a full cover of it so they could get your 99 cents on iTunes. We're still going to release a cover of this song that we acknowledge in the show is about date rape. We're still going to say it after we sing the song with a bunch of teenagers.
You need to back your ass up to the fact that you, a married 37-year-old, just performed a song about coercive sexual advances as 9 minors twerked alongside you down the hallways of a public high school.
It's called the First Amendment, Sue.
That should have gotten him fired. There's so many things he does in the show that he should lose his job for, but that is the most
That
public,
almost makes me glad that he just is in this one for a passing glance in Artie's alternate universe, and it's just like,
Artie, you're responsible
dorks.
for his relationship. You're responsible for his marriage.
Yes. That's why you need to get in the chair.
Get in the chair so he can have a real baby. Get in the chair and just get this woman out of here with her fake baby.
Oh, God.
Do you remember the fake baby storyline?
Yes, I do. Oh, wait. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So the woman that Will is married to in the black and white sequence was his wife in season 1, who was insane. And she initially did think she was pregnant. And she's like, this is how we're going to stay together, is I'm going to have a baby and that's going to fix everything. She then finds out she was never pregnant, but she's like, this is the only thing that's keeping my marriage together, so I have to fake being pregnant until I can actually get a baby. So she tried to adopt Quinn's baby because Quinn was pregnant in season 1. So that was her initial plan, was like, I'm going to secretly adopt Quinn's baby and just pretend to be pregnant in the meantime. And of course she got caught because Will found the fake pregnancy belly, and he pushed her against a kitchen counter and was like, lift up your shirt, and was like really scary about it. And it's like, okay, yeah, what she's doing is fucked up, but like, this is not
the way to go about it.
This is bordering on assault. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't handle it that way. You know,
maybe
be
talk
angry for sure. You have a right
talk
to be
things
angry,
out
but...
like adults and not throw your wife around like.
And
like
I
that.
understand this is an insane situation and an insane thing for her to do, but you are not making a good case for yourself either. Yeah, so she has gone even farther and has a fake baby. Oh yeah, Rachel's biological mom adopts the baby in the end, by the way, and later sleeps with Puck. But he's 18, so it's fine. Yeah.
I think we need to rope it back in here.
I think we need to talk about just this episode that Idina Menzel is not in.
And let's not even talk about freaking Rachel singing Crush by Jennifer Page to Mr. Schuester.
Or Mr. Schuester singing Don't Stand So Close to Me to Rachel.
I remember that because my parents bought the album, like I think Glee Volume 1 and 2. So I would hear those songs in the car. Those are probably like the Glee moments that stick the most in my mind.
You know what's really fucked up about that song, though? It's not just the subject matter, the intention behind it. Because you can write a song about anything, because it's like, oh, this could be from the perspective of like a fictional character or whatever. But Sting is saying, he's like giving an interview about the inspiration behind the song, and he's saying like, yeah, I worked at a high school, and these 15-year-old girls all had a crush on me, and they were trying to get me in trouble, and they liked looking at me, and I liked looking at them too, honestly. I'm like, no. What? You what? If you are a grown-ass adult and you find teenagers attractive, objectively there is something wrong with you. I don't care if you're 22. You should not be attracted to a 15-year-old. What? They're children.
They're children, and you are in a much different headspace than they are.
They are also obviously children. They are not attractive.
Yes.
Because they're children.
Because they're children.
And sure, I have met middle schoolers who look like they're 30, but one word comes out of their mouth, that's a child.
All they have to say is 6, 7, and you're like, yeah, you are a child.
All they have to say is like, and you're like, that's a child. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the beliefs that you hold, you are a child. And that's okay. That's what you should be. That's what you're supposed to be. I'm just acknowledging it.
So let's get back to Sue.
Sue, who is often the voice of reason for these people, crazy as she is.
Yeah, she's crazy, but is somehow the least crazy. She's a grown-ass woman, and she's crazy, but she's so endearingly villainous, and, like, I got that from Jump when the episode started, and I was just like, okay, I'm in good hands with Sue Sylvester.
Sue Sylvester is probably the most well-known character on the show because she gets all the best lines. Sue secretly has a heart of gold. We know this because she treats disabled people, get this, like they're people.
Yeah, what's the deal with her and her little, I don't want to say crony, but it feels...
she's a crony. That's a quality. People with Down syndrome can be cronies if they want to. Becky
Zootopia,
Jackson,
anyone can be anything.
Anyone can be anything. But this episode was almost about Zootopia too, and then we just decided to go Glee. Sue's deal is that her older sister has Down syndrome, and they kind of only had each other growing up, so it's just like a subject that is very near and dear to her heart. So she has a lot of empathy for kids in special education. As ruthless as she is like a staunch supporter of equality for disabled kids. She also, at this point in the show, has a daughter with Down syndrome. She has a baby girl. We don't see her in this episode, but she's around. Actually, I think her daughter in the show is named after the actress who played her sister, because her sister was killed off in season 2 because I think the actress developed dementia. I could be wrong. But she had some kind of disease and she was not going to be able to act anymore, and she died later on, so they killed off her character. So that was basically like the most important person in her life, and that's what kind of humanizes her from the beginning, is that she shows this kindness to Becky, who seems to be the only kid at that school with Down syndrome specifically, and maybe didn't have a lot of confidence to begin with, but of course now she is very, very confident, and that's kind of the joke with her character, is that like, oh, she has Down syndrome, but she's like a badass bitch, and she's like telling everybody off.
Can we just talk? We don't even have to talk about it. I can just mention her role in the first story, where just all of a sudden she just pops in and you're like, whoa, she's pregnant.
That's another thing where, like, I don't know that would happen, because it's like, oh, you are the entire reason that she has any self-respect. And, like, it's entirely possible that she still had that mentor figure in Sue in this timeline. Like, that wouldn't necessarily, like, fix all her problems and make her respect herself. But I think Sue would at least be trying to offer guidance and be like, maybe don't have unprotected sex with people, and maybe don't have sex just because you think it's gonna get you love and attention, because that's not really how it works.
That is totally
of course, the way they phrase
it
it, because it's 2012 and they're in high school, is she's the school slut.
That's
our attitude at the time.
That definitely reminded me of how we used to talk about these things in the hallway. Of course, now, here in the right timeline, she's getting designer sweaters from Sue and is just like,
I already have this one. Do better.
She's still got to work through her connections with luxury toothpick makers before her heart can grow those 3 sizes, to borrow from another Christmas special.
Again, in the season 2 Christmas episode, she's the one who covers "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," but she changes it to Sue the Grinch. Because I think it's like she's destroying the Glee Club's Christmas decorations, like in the choir room, and I don't remember exactly what happens with that, but there's a whole montage of it.
I almost thought that was what her story in this episode was gonna track through, like that's kind of the direction they were gonna go, but
she kind of has a Grinch heart going 3 sizes moment. She's still saying horrible things about this woman who she got for Secret Santa, who's Marley's mom. What do you know about Marley?
Apparently she has an eating disorder. That's basically all I've garnered from this
That's all you're gonna get from this episode, yeah. She is one of the new characters from this season. She's a sophomore.
She's beautiful and she's a great singer.
That's the prerequisite for being cast on the show. You have to be conventionally attractive and you have to sing. Her mom, of course, is the overweight lunch lady, and so she gets bullied for that. And then she, of course, we know is very thin, but while they are doing Grease, Kitty, who is the blonde girl that you see briefly at the end, she's just singing like everything's fine, like she had nothing to do with any of this. She took in Marley's costumes to make her think she was gaining weight and manipulated her into becoming bulimic.
Oh, boy.
And she apologizes for that later. I think maybe she's already done it by this point. I don't remember. But there's like a very special episode where they think that there is a shooting going on. So they are all hiding in the choir room. And so Kitty, thinking that they're all going to die, admits to what she did and apologizes. And they hug and they have that moment of forgiveness. But it's still like, this has very far-reaching consequences.
Yeah.
This is really bad. It was like really, really bad what you did.
I mean, I don't know much about eating disorders, but like I assume that Marley's probably going to be dealing with this, if not for life, but for a very long time. So I feel like that sort of thing isn't something you just fix with an apology in a situation of extreme duress.
I mean, I don't think they have any illusions that is gonna, like, cure her. Because, like, it's a compulsion once you have an eating disorder, whether or not you, again, like, logically know. And she even says in the episode, like, I know I have a problem, I want to get better. That doesn't do all the work for you. You still have to go through this process. And
it's $200 for therapy, don't you know?
$200 per session. That's the big thing that makes them strapped for cash, is they need to save wherever possible to pay for her therapy. Which, like, if they really need to save money, could the Glee Club cut back on their costume budget? Could Marley cut back on her hat budget? Just you have enough hats. Keep the hats you already have.
Is she a hat girl?
Yeah, she's wearing hats all the time. She's wearing Newsies caps. She's wearing these, like, sideways fucking Disney Channel-ass caps. Always with the caps, this girl. So, like, look, keep the hats that you have now. I'm not even saying you have to sell the hats. Just, like, don't buy so many. And then maybe, like, once you make some kind of breakthrough, if you've been saving money, you reward yourself with a new hat. And you
feel like
can
we
look back
figured
on
it
it
out.
and be like, this is a marker of the progress that I've made, and I'm proud of it, and I'm going to wear this hat and be proud of my hat. I feel like the Glee
Or-
Club could help them out. They've done things like this before. They've done fundraisers and things for people within the Glee Club. And maybe they do at
Yeah.
some other point in the show. But here it's all Sue.
She could do all of that, or just have Sue happen to be watching.
When they happen to mention that she has an eating disorder and that the therapy is really expensive and they can't even get a Christmas tree.
And then cut to Sue in the gym with this ugly, ugly tree
7,000-year-old tree that she cut down.
that she cut down herself. What was she on that day, and what did she see in
that's
this
just what
tree
she
to
does.
compose
That's just how
her?
she is. That is just her character. She does these insane things, but then once in a while she'll have like a heart of gold moment. And so this one is she sells her very expensive old tree to a luxury toothpick maker, and they use the money to get Marley and her mom a Christmas tree and ornaments and gifts. You know, gives her the luxury sweater that she bought for Becky that Becky didn't want because Becky already has it, but Marley doesn't have it. So Marley gets a nice sweater, and they get all this nice stuff, and it raises their spirits. But they still think maybe they should call the police, and I think you shouldn't, because then they're gonna take all that stuff back.
I was gonna agree that they ought to call the police, but no, you're right.
Just like, you know what? It's a Christmas miracle. If somebody breaks into our house again, maybe we call the police, and maybe we don't tell them about the first time.
Yeah.
Do we just let them think that this was all our stuff?
Make sure and mention that this has never happened before. Oh, those locks that we installed after the first time that didn't actually happen? Oh, we've always had those.
That's why we're so surprised that this happened.
Yeah. They cost so much money and were recommended to us by...
They're not gonna spend money on locks. Therapy is $200 a session.
You're right. What am I thinking?
A Christmas tree is $50.
A Christmas tree is $50. And who knows how much ornaments cost these days?
Fucking
We haven't bought new
$20
ornaments
each.
and...
I mean, they probably already have ornaments from previous years. You know what? Why didn't Marley just put her ornaments on a window shade? Make a tree out of construction paper, go to the art room at your school, make a little Charlie Brown-ass Christmas tree. There's your tree.
Hang it on the window and put your ornaments on it.
No money spent.
We made it make sense.
You can still have a shitty Christmas even if your mom's alive.
Everything is solved, it seems, by a musical number. Even Sue's attitude toward the Glee Club, at least temporarily. Like, how often does that occur?
It
in the
happens
show?
once in a while. If there's some kind of extenuating circumstance, you know, they help set up her sister's funeral, they sing at it, it's a nice moment. She generally knows when to genuinely be grateful for something or to have sympathy for people in the Glee Club. I do like that they finally acknowledge that Marley is also the name of a famous dog.
That was a great joke. But I feel like not as good as the Mayans were wiped out by smallpox. That's just chicken
It's like
pox,
chicken
but
pox,
smaller.
but smaller. That's basically Sam's level of intelligence on a normal day.
You mean he has shown he has a smarter streak on occasion?
He's definitely emotionally intelligent. Actually, at the end of the series, he takes over the Glee Club, and he's the teacher.
Aww.
Because they convert McKinley into a performing arts school, so Will becomes the principal, and so Sam takes his place coaching New Directions. And then they also create like 5 more Glee Clubs, because it's a performing arts school and they need more.
Varsity,
More hats.
junior varsity, JV2.
Hats for everyone!
Only freshmen New Directions get to have ball caps. So if you make JV2, you get Newsies caps.
And that does not mean that we're doing Newsies as the school musical. It just means that you get to wear those hats. Okay, so stop asking me if we're doing Newsies this year. I will tell you if we're doing Newsies. I was like a little disappointed that Finn is barely in this episode because in my mind I'm like, you know, he's only in this season and then that's it. But obviously they don't know that. If their plan had been eventually we're going to kill off this fictional character,
giving him lots more time.
He would have been in a lot more of this season for sure, but I don't think they could have planned for one of their lead actors who's still very young suddenly dying in between seasons.
He still got up on stage at the end of this episode though. That was kind of nice.
He's just kind of I don't remember if he had like a paid position at the school or if it was some kind of volunteer position, but he is just kind of walking around. The last we see of him in the show is he starts going to college to become a teacher because he's so inspired by Will Schuester, greatest teacher of all time. That's where we kind of leave him in season 4, and tragically, they do not have the ability to
bring that to fruition.
To carry out their ultimate plan for the last season. Yeah. Well, that's a downer, but Christmas sometimes is.
But hey, when we're all singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas together,
which is also a sad song.
Whether on stage or in the breadsticks,
they
or
just
in
happen
New York,
to be singing it at the same time.
Yeah.
They just cosmically, they know that somewhere the other Glee kids are singing it.
I mean, I feel like these kids are essentially trauma bonded. It would be natural for them to have that
because
psychic
of
connection.
Everything that's happened, all the crazy shit that they're constantly being subjected to.
Now that we finally discussed all 5, I think I can put together my definitive ranking. This time I'm going to go least favorite to favorite. I think Artie's going to be on the bottom, and then 2012, Sam and Brittany, and then Sue, the Pucks, and then New York. New York was my favorite one.
Hey, if Klain got back together and then broke up again, would you trap them in an elevator and try to manipulate them into getting back together using a jigsaw puppet of yourself? That's what Sue does in season 6.
Hello, Klain. Let's play a game. You're trapped in an elevator.
This isn't an elevator.
You're trapped in an elevator with a bathroom. If you don't find a way out, you'll be forced to eat each other and then suffocate. But you have another choice.
What?
You and Blaine must kiss.
I should no longer ask, does that actually happen in Glee? Because the default answer is yes, it fucking did.
Everything happens.
Everything happened in Glee. I was on the Finchel train. I think I might as well be on the
Klain train, baby.
On the Klain train.
I'm not going to apologize for this. I still ship it.
Well, we did it. We've once again talked about a show from the era of Gravity Falls that wasn't Gravity Falls.
Kristen Schaal was in one episode.
There's the connection.
The 10th anniversary of the series finale of Gravity Falls is coming up, and we're talking about Glee.
This is exactly what you subscribe to the podcast to see, isn't it?
Oh yeah, stop commenting for us to make a new episode. We're gonna do it when we do it, okay?
I just spent the last 2.5 years fucking going through college again.
On a serious note, we don't do this for a living. So like when we go a long time without releasing an episode, it's because we're doing like real life stuff, and commenting over and over again for us to release a new episode is not going to make it happen faster. But we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate that you want a new episode. So do we. What I don't appreciate is those of you commenting on the episode trying to post major spoilers specifically for AJ to see, despite knowing the premise of the show. I just delete those, by the way. I filter the comments. I see them before they get posted publicly, and I delete them immediately.
I've actually stopped looking at the comments because Mary told me that was happening. So I get those emails from Spotify, and then I just delete them.
It only annoys me. It doesn't get to AJ even at all, if that's your goal.
Is this what Alex felt like dealing with the fandom?
We will get into that. Trust me. Trust me, there is so much to talk about with that. And we will watch the rest of Gravity Falls, I promise.
We promise it'll happen.
You will, when the next Gravity Falls episode comes out, you will understand one of the reasons that it has taken so long. We will get there when we get there.
We get there when we get there.
All right, that's all I got.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Happy Glee.
Happy Glee.
Yay, Glee!
This has been Into the Falls. You can find me at Mabel Page Pines on Twitter and Instagram. That's Mabel, P-A-G-E Pines. I'm also May Page on YouTube and Film Knife on Medium and WordPress. That's where I post my film reviews and essays, editorials, etc. You can follow the show on Twitter at The Falls Cast, all one word, and Into the Falls Podcast on YouTube. And I will hand it off to AJ.
This podcast is hosted and produced by Mary McKeon and AJ Sanchez, and our theme song and some of the music is by Kevin MacLeod. Oh, and follow me on Instagram. And I make YouTube videos sometimes. Unca AJ. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, trust no one!
Do you think they're going to make the Twitter joke in the live-action Moana remake? Or do you think they're going to somehow make it into an X joke? Do you think he's going to carve it with Hey Hey's beak and say, when you write with a bird, it's called tweeting, but then it's just going to be he just drew an X into the or? I'm calling it now.
There were like 2, 3 threesome, foursome jokes in Zootopia 2. I believe anything's possible.
There were threesome jokes in Zootopia 2?
Yes!
What? Where? Okay, this is the Zootopia 2 podcast now. Let's keep rolling.
Yeah.